I-19 female, had surgery a couple of days ago to get all 4 of my wisdom teeth out, and because I have a horrible fear of dentists, they had to drug me pretty hard to remove them. Not like laughing gas that wears off fast, but actual IV medicine. So I was pretty much unconscious during the whole thing. They told me to have a responsible adult drive me to the appointment and back because the meds they gave me would make driving dangerous. My mom was on a work trip and couldn't take me, so I asked my sister-in-law, Bree, 24, not her real name, if she could do it, as the whole thing would only take an hour or two. I even offered gas money because the dental office is about 45 minutes away. I would have asked my brother, but he works during the day, while Bree is a stay-at-home mom to their toddler daughter, who I think was at Bree's mom's house that day. Bree agreed to take me to the appointment, and the surgery went fine. Bree waited in the lobby for me to be done. When I came out of the anesthesia, I was very disoriented and nauseous, which I guess is normal. I had gauze shoved in my mouth to stop any bleeding, and Bree took me to her car after I was let go. I don't really remember much of the drive, but it felt like not enough time had passed before Bree got out of the car and told me to come with her. After that, I was really out of it and just followed her because the alternative was staying in the hot car. Long story short, we were at a pool. I was really confused, but once we were through the gate, Bree basically parked me at one of those little table benches and said she'd be back in a while. I was still trying not to puke and was really dizzy from the heat, 90+ degrees, and the drugs, so I asked her to take me home, but she wouldn't. So I guess she was meeting friends at the pool since it was her day off and she didn't have my niece. I was starting to feel really sick and on the verge of passing out or having a panic attack, so I called my brother. I don't think he could understand me between the meds and the stuff in my mouth because he hung up, and I guess called Bree because she came stomping back over, cussing and yelling at me, and took me back to the car. I passed out on the drive home, but when we arrived, my brother had left work and met us in the driveway. He was screaming at Bree and she was crying. I was still pretty disoriented, but my brother took me back home and stayed with me until the meds wore off. That's when he told me he's divorcing Bree because of what she did, plus some other things he didn't go into detail about. It's been a few days since then, and Bree has been blowing up my phone, telling me what a witch I am and how my tattling destroyed her family. Part of me feels bad because of my niece, and I wonder if I should have just dealt with it and waited for her to be done at the pool instead of calling my bro and causing problems. Am I the idiot? Oh, honey, not the idiot at all. While I understand how you think you should have just sucked it up and kept quiet, you were also post-op and under the effects of heavy drugs. What she did was very irresponsible and childish. I also don't think that's the sole reason why your brother's thinking of divorce. It sounds like the final nail in the coffin, though. Their marital problems are not yours and are in no shape or form your fault. OP, you're not the reason they're getting a divorce. But if you find out the reason, please come back and update, because inquiring minds want to know. Also, please tell your brother what your sister-in-law is doing to you. He would want to know that she's harassing you. Oh yeah, this is just the final straw. I feel there's a long list of her being irresponsible, most of which related to caring for their daughter. That's just an assumption I'm making, but Bree has proven she doesn't care about people's well-being. Since Bree referred to it as tattling, there's a good chance she was lying to your brother about what she was doing that day. Maybe he was mad that Bree lied about who was watching their daughter. On the other hand, maybe she met some guy at the pool or had been obviously thirsty over the lifeguard. Whatever it was more than the already vile behavior of leaving someone in pain and doped to the gills, just parked in the heat while she had fun at the pool. This is in no way your fault. Update. Am I the idiot for ruining my brother's marriage because his wife left me at the pool? First, thanks to everyone who read the original post and reassured me. It helped a lot, and I understand now that my bro's marriage was rocky before Bree pulled the stunt. Here's my update. I called my bro to check on things, thanked him again, and to see how he and my niece were doing, and he told me some things about Bree and why he's divorcing her. I don't think she's cheated on him or anything like a lot of people in the original post thought. At least my bro never said anything about that. But y'all were right about the incident with me being the straw that broke the camel's back, and that I'm not the only victim of Bree being careless. A while back, I guess my bro came home from work early and found my niece, toddler, alone in their house with the front door unlocked. He called Bree 3 or 4 times with no answer, and she came in the front door right before he was about to call the cops. Apparently, she went to the convenience store, about a 5-minute drive from their place, and left my niece by herself. When my brother yelled at her, she said it was fine because nothing happened. And when he said the door was unlocked, she said she must have forgotten and that it wasn't a big deal. Her phone was silenced on the charger in their bedroom, which is why she didn't answer when he called. Bree called him dramatic and told him to stop telling her how to parent, and that niece was fine for 20 minutes while she shopped for dinner stuff. My bro is taking some time off work to care for my niece because he kicked Bree out of their house the same day I had my surgery. She's staying at a hotel that bro's paying for, and he gave her 2 weeks, more like 1.5 now, to find a place before he quits paying for it. He says he's going for full custody because Bree is a danger to my niece and doesn't trust her anymore. She tried to argue when he kicked her out, but he threatened to call the police for what she did to me, which I guess scared her because she left. Sorry it isn't a very exciting update, but that's all bro would tell me. I think this isn't the first time Bree neglected niece too, but he said he's doing what it takes to make sure it doesn't happen again. He also said he doesn't think Bree is completely malicious, but is exceptionally careless and doesn't believe her actions affect other people, which is why she can't be trusted not to hurt others by being selfish. I'm doing well after my surgery, even after everything that happened, so thank you all for the good wishes and advice. I'm glad things worked out okay, OP. Maybe Bree's not a bad person, but she clearly has a problem making decisions that are so irresponsible that they put other people in danger. I can't blame your brother at all for wanting to end the relationship for the sake of his family's safety. I wonder if she was always careless or became so during or after birth. I wonder if this is linked to postpartum depression or behavior. But yes, 10 out of 10, she's a danger to your niece and was to you in that incident. I agree with your brother's actions. And of course, you are not the idiot. And I hope you heal up, my friend. I'm currently on a fitness journey and I'm trying to get in shape. I've been dieting and working out consistently for 6 months and have seen serious changes. I'm sculpting a six-pack. My arms, legs, and chest are getting much more muscular, and I feel and look great. My wife doesn't like it. She doesn't like that I go to the gym every day and eat healthier now. I think that's crazy, as I'm so much more physically attractive now that I'm in shape, so she should be into it. My wife does the majority of the cooking for the family. Usually I'll just weigh out meals, so I know how much I'm eating, which she also doesn't like, so I can track what I'm eating accurately. 2 weeks ago, after I weighed out my meal, I went to my son's room to let him know dinner was ready. When I returned to the table, I saw my wife mixing my bowl. She eventually admitted that sometimes she puts a little extra butter or oil in my food to slow my weight loss. This evolved into a small fight after dinner. Now I haven't eaten her cooking in 2 weeks, and she's upset about that. I've been cooking for myself since I can't trust her not to sabotage my body. She's been mad about it and wants me to eat what she cooks for me, despite what she did. Am I the idiot? Everyone's the idiot here. For starters, you're justified in not eating her cooking. You get to decide what goes in your body. So why are you also the idiot? I'm so much more physically attractive now that I'm in shape, so she should be into it. That's an extraordinarily shallow take. Did you ever ask your wife what she finds attractive about you? Perhaps dad bods are her thing. Clearly sculpted abs are not. There is a disrupted line of communication between you two. It needs to be fixed, and the sooner the better. Stop. OP has been working on going to the gym and eating healthily. He's allowed to reap the rewards, including a gain in confidence. Also, being possibly slightly overconfident is nowhere near the level of idiotry that is deliberately sabotaging someone's health journey by putting stuff in their food behind their back. It's not comparable. The wife, however, has gone out of her way to sabotage something that is increasing her partner's health and happiness. There's no excuse for that. None. Not insecurity, not her liking him better chubby. None. Period, regardless. If OP likes himself better fitter, that's what matters. The wife's preference in men's bodies does not dictate what he can do. So no, communication is not the issue. Don't defend someone who's deliberately tearing someone else down. You're not the idiot, OP. I, 32 male, met my wife, 32, at high school, and we dated back then. But when I decided not to go to uni, she told me we were in different places in life, so we broke up. Time passes and I meet her again, and she asks if I want to go out for coffee. My brother Luke bought a house, and we reformed the basement to be a rented flat. Luke rents his flat to Jules, and he falls hard for her, and she's a cheerleader. My wife called her Disney Jules, in a not nice way, but I told her to knock it off and she did. I was in a car accident and broke my leg, and it was a big deal. I had to put some pins in it and basically learn how to walk again. My whole family supported me and I moved to my brother's flat as I couldn't use the stairs and needed help for doctor's appointments. My wife hated to leave our place. I got better, but my mind started to sink. I had no job and no idea what to do. My wife told me I should have chosen better, maybe gone to college. That didn't help. Jules' sister Layla came to visit while her husband Joe was on a sailing boat in the direction of the South Pole. And man, that family's impressive. I told her about how I have no job and how it's hard for me to work for a long time sitting or walking. She told me I should look for an industrial design course because of my old job. I told her I had no idea what that was, and I bet I would be terrible at it. She took me to a design job fair, and I loved it. I signed up for a course that day. I told my wife about it, and she told me that a 6-month course would not give me enough money for a family. Jules and Layla didn't let me give up. For real. They gave me a table that will lift and a running machine for me not to stay too long sitting. I did the course, and in 4 months I already had a job. And now 2 years later, I'm doing as much as I did in the factory. So Luke and Jules are getting married, and Layla and Joe come to the wedding. As expected, the dude is great. So I wanted to say thank you to all the people that helped me from there to here. So at dinner at my parents' house, I gave out some presents. To Layla and Joe, I gave sports tickets. To my parents, I finished to pay for their house. And to Luke and Jules, I gave them their honeymoon. I was not poor. I moved to Luke's house for physical and mental health, not money. My wife asked for her present. I told her that we would be back at our house and I wanted to make a trip for the two of us, but I would let her choose where. She started yelling at me, saying she wanted something now since everyone else was getting something. I told her that she was getting the trip, and she told me that I should have given her the most significant present since she needed to lay down by my side every night. That made me feel like the idiot. I took her from home to a basement, and I had nothing to give her there, but I thought planning the trip together would be a nice thing to do together. So, am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Honestly, I'm surprised after my wife told me I should have chosen better, maybe gone to college, that you stayed with her. Then she tried to discourage you from taking a course because it would not give me enough money for a family. My guy, you need a whole new wife. She's not supportive. And who says they deserve something for being the person who sleeps next to someone they're supposed to love? She's essentially reaping the best gift of them all. She should be grateful that her husband is the one gifting these fantastic things, instead of thinking about what she can get right then and there. It's very selfish of her to only think of herself, considering what your sister-in-law has done for you. You are the idiot. Why are you still with your wife when you so obviously hate her and are resentful of her? You didn't say one single positive thing about her all through the whole post. Every sentence that mentioned her was dripping with unconcealed contempt. I couldn't imagine staying with someone I thought so little of. Are you sure you want to stay with someone who treats you and others around you as inferior? What does she bring to the relationship, except laying by your side every night? Your family and sister-in-law all seem like amazing people who have your back, and that's what family should be about, not criticizing you for making the right life choices and then berating you again for not making the right gift choices. You deserve better, OP. I had a nanny, Cora, who worked for both me and my ex. While my ex paid her, he left most of the decisions about her employment and how she would care for our son to me. Cora asked me if it would be okay if she could bring her niece with her to work while she cared for my son, as her sister was in the hospital. Her niece and my son are close in age, so I thought it would be nice for him to have a child to play with, and Cora has honestly been a lifesaver for the 2 years she's worked for us. Things were great until Cora called me to tell me she was quitting after my ex's girlfriend told her she couldn't bring her niece into his house, even after Cora told her that I said it was fine. I tried to convince Cora not to quit, but she said the girlfriend spoke to her so rudely that she couldn't continue working for us. When I called my ex, he agreed his girlfriend was in the wrong, but thought this would mean I would stay home to care for our son, and he would take care of us financially again. I told him he needed to cancel his business trip next week because our son is supposed to be with him from Thursday to Sunday. He told me he couldn't just cancel as the trip was essential, but I was so annoyed, so I told him that was too bad, and it was a good thing he was his own boss because he had to watch our son on his days, and he couldn't do that from the US. Now he's upset with me, and his sister told me that he broke up with his girlfriend in front of everybody because he was angry after our conversation. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. His childcare was lost due to his girlfriend, and he's responsible for finding backup childcare during his parenting time. Most parents have to schedule their business travel when their children aren't with them if they don't have alternative care. So he needs to parent. He didn't have good boundaries with his girlfriend about her minding her manners with the important childcare provider he employs, and now he has consequences. I hope you can give the nanny a good reference for her next role. She didn't deserve mistreatment. I get the impression you've been conditioned to clean up your ex's messes. You don't have to care if he's upset. What needs to happen is for him to learn to take responsibility. Maybe he'll be more careful next time he chooses to bring a girlfriend into the house. This is the first step in his journey towards being less of an idiot. Oh my God, yes. Like the fact that your ex immediately reached out to you to clean up his mess. It's a problem. You are not his keeper. It's troubling that you even have to ask if you've done anything wrong. Your ex's girlfriend caused the nanny to quit. Therefore, your ex needs to find a solution. When I called my ex, he agreed his girlfriend was in the wrong, but thought this would just mean I'd stay home to care for our son, and he would take care of us financially again. Am I the only one who caught this part? And then after this whole situation, he breaks up with the girlfriend? It seems that he wants to get OP back to a stay-at-home situation, and therefore dependent on him. Honestly, it feels like a setup, thinking that you would suddenly be a stay-at-home mom 24/7 because the nanny quit? What type of thinking is that?